Now, Nigeria's current political and economic climate continues to shape conversations around the state of the nation under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. From economic reforms to security challenges and governance decisions, the government says it is pursuing long-term stability through its renewed hope agenda. However, critics argue that the impact of these policies is being felt unevenly, especially in the areas of inflation, cost of living, and public trust. The discussion also raises broader questions about the strength of Nigeria's democracy, including political inclusion, accountability, and citizen engagement. As the country moves deeper into the Tinubu administration, opinions remain divided on whether current reforms are building resilience or deepening public pressure.
Joining us this morning is Professor Ayo Motayo, the Director General of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, Nigeria's foremost public policy and strategic research institution. A seasoned policy expert and development strategist, Professor Motayo has extensive experience in governance, public policy, and national development and strategic planning. Under his leadership, NIPS continue to provide research-driven recommendations on critical national matters affecting governance, democracy, security, and economic development. He joins us this morning to discuss the state of the nation and democracy under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's watch. What a delight to have you once again on this program, Daybreak. Professor Ayo Motayo, the Director General of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies.
Good morning, and I'm happy that I'm back on set with you.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing, very disturbing conversation, the biggest conversation in the land. Everyone is concerned about the rescue of abducted children and teachers around the country. What is missing in terms of intelligence integration, in terms of political will, in terms of tenacity, in terms of the ability to degrade and decimate this threat that have posed an existential threat to the nation?
Thank you very much. We are about a year, less than a year into the 2027 elections. And when elections are around, a whole lot of things happen. And one of those things will be insecurity. There will be tension because everybody wants to get the ticket and go on to contest in elections. So a whole lot of things will be happening. And then concerning the rescue of the children that were adopted, I will just plead that we give the security operatives some more time. This is a very, very critical matter.
Absolutely.
I was on set a few months back, and I said that we need to be very careful when children have been adopted. The life of one child is worth much more than that of several bandits, and we need to be careful. I know security agents, operatives are not sleeping. They are working out the best solution to get these children out without harm. So I have confidence in the way and manner in which they are going about this, and I want to assure us that they will get those children out without hurting anybody. And then with the new measures that Mr. President has taken, you are aware that he has appointed retired Major General Famadewa as head of the Homeland Security. And I'm sure he is putting his own things in place. And very, very soon, the issue of insecurity.
But I'm sure you are aware that the office of the head of the Homeland Security has not been established.
Yeah.
They are still putting things.
Yeah, that was what I said. They are putting things in place, but that does not mean that he's not doing anything.
All right, let's speak more critically now. Something big that broke yesterday was a statement that was made by Sunday Igboho, where he claimed that he knew the politicians that are involved, and he said he would name them. This is very big at such a sensitive and crucial time in the nation. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this type of allegation.
Well, this is not the first time an individual will claim that he or she knows who is doing something wrong concerning the country.
Do you believe there's truth to it?
There might be, but then there has to be evidence. We know Sunday Igboho is a very outspoken person, and he has Yoruba interests at heart. But when he says he knows those politicians, we have to be very careful because a lot of people are very emotional right now.
That's
and
right.
we have to be very careful in making statements. I watched the 5 minutes video that my amateur video that he put out there, that he knows those people. But for me, if you know those who are doing these things and you really want to help, the police is there. The DSS is there. Just mention it to them. Security is not for one person. Okay? It's for everybody to show concern. And if you have anything you know can help to make our country more secure, offer it to the security operatives so they can do their work. We need intelligence from people. So I think Sunday Igboho should go beyond saying that he knows. He should just simply mention those he thinks are responsible.
Yeah, you've endorsed the president's response so far, deployment of 1,000 forest guards, but some security experts have said that this is a knee-jerk approach.
Yeah, we have to avoid knee-jerk approach, but Mr. President must be seen to be doing something. And he just don't come up and say, I'm putting 1,000 out there. He must have been advised that this is the number we need to put in that particular situation. Don't forget that the chief security officer of any state in the first instance is the governor. It is when the governor cannot handle a situation that it's escalated to the presidency. And you notice that Mr. President has been very careful making statements because we have to be very careful politicizing a very bad situation.
You're calling Yolanda, you're calling the governor the chief security officer, but we've the states, but we've had some instances in which they have come out to say that they are nothing more than a chief logistic officer because there's no state policing. So doesn't this underscore the necessity and the urgency for state policing?
Yes, I agree with you. Mr. President saw that months back, and he has already indicated that he will wish that he will do something about state policing. But it's a process. We have been on this for some time. If you're going to have state police, we have to put things in place in the right manner. And I would just want to plead with Nigerians to be a bit patient. The new IG of police is taking steps. The National Institute is also supporting what he is trying to do. He has a committee in place that would ensure a smooth transition from national policing only to including the state police. And of course, we must have layers of security. It's not only at the federal level. We have the one at the federal, we have at other subnationals must also impose some forms of security measures to ensure that our polity is safe.
Well, truthfully speaking, I think it's very difficult to ask people to be calm in times like this when daily we are having more and more reports. But that's not my question. At the moment, we have these huge security budgets. Why aren't they yielding any results? Or is it that is there something beneath the surface? Explain to us.
Well, you always claim that we have huge security budget.
Well, that's what's reported.
If you compare what other countries spend on security with what we do, it's still just like a drop in the ocean. Security is expensive. At this time in the development of our country, we need to put more security infrastructure in place. You mentioned knee-jerk approach. Now, do we have a terrain analysis for security purpose of all the local governments in Nigeria? Crimes are committed from neighborhoods, then it goes to from wards. If you are using political, it goes to local governments and the rest of it. All of these areas have to have security infrastructure, which we currently do not have. And it's going to take some time to put all of this in place. With the establishment of the Homeland Security, I'm sure we will begin to see security being put in place at the level at the unit level, so that before crimes are committed, we always can track those the bad people.
Okay, I think this conversation underscores the manpower deficit in the security sector. Because when you look at the United Nations recommendation for the police civilian ratio, which recommends 1 to 450, but in Nigeria we have a shortfall up to 1 to 650. November last year, the president called for mass recruitment of about 50,000 additional security forces, and we have the National Assembly also calling for a probe of military spending. So do you think there's enough political will in this regard? And also on probing of military spending, do you think this is the way to go?
On military spending, let me say one thing. We do not have external threats. We have internal threats. Now, if you are going to bring the military into our internal security, then you have to have a fusion of what the Nigerian military can do and what the police can do. So if you give all the money to the military and you leave the Nigerian police, then there is going to be a problem. So for us at the National Institute, we're giving recommendations on how these things can be done. We are hoping very soon to have a summit on how the state police policy can be well managed so that we have a safer policy. There is the need, certainly, for us to de-escalate tension.
Yes, well, it's all good and fine to speak about policy, but I think you know how heated the situation is in the nation. Realistically speaking, how long do you think it will take before people can actually see something in place for the state security, for the state policing?
I like that question. First thing, you must know that this is a process. We were somewhere before. If you want to move to point B from point A, we have to put measures in place and allow for those measures to work. So as the process is going on, you look at what is working, what is not working, and I'm sure we are going to get there. We just need to be very patient.
Okay, we're at the point where the conversation have gotten to a very critical dilemma with the abductors demanding for a release of two of their leaders linked to a splinter cell of Boko Haram linked to Al-Qaeda. A lot of people while some people have condemned the adoption of negotiation and dialoguing with the terrorists, saying that no one who has enjoyed millions for holding children to ransom will be willing to drop his arms for peace. And so some have called for degradation and utter decimation of these terrorist elements. But again, we have the soft targets and arms way. So what should be the government policy regarding this demand by the terrorists and those criticizing the adoption of a negotiation as an option? What would you suggest?
Well, my own position is that you play based on what you have. Right now, we have a whole lot of children, teachers under the captivity of abductors. We want them out alive. And given that the security operatives are working out procedures by which they can extricate these children from the hands of the abductors, that is the first thing we need to do. The rest of it is the process that Mr. President has started with Homeland Security. Let us see how that works.
All right. So we were told that Americans would have their boots on the ground in Nigeria. This came months ago. What role have they been playing? Because it seems as though ever since that has happened, there hasn't been much change. In fact, the only change that has been seen, according to the reports, has been in a downward spiral.
Well, certainly the Americans are Americans. They are not Nigerians. They won't know the terrain as well as Nigerians we do.
So what role are they playing then?
Well, they said they are advisors. They are military advisors. They are not here to fight terrorists for us. They probably teach us how to do these things. And I believe that with time, the reasons why they have come in would manifest when our military and our police are able to deter terrorists from abducting children.
Okay, before we go, let's get one short take home from you. The children are with the abductors, with some of the teachers. Should the federal government accede to their demand or not? In a quick one.
I do not think the federal government should accede to their demand the way they want it. I have confidence, since I cannot say here, that those children will be safe eventually.
So what should the government do?
Save the children.
Okay, I think the conversation goes on with how will this happen. Thank you very much, Professor Ayo Motayo, the Director General of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. Thank you very much for making out time to join us in this conversation. We hope for the safe release of these children and the teachers and every other captive held around hostage in the country. Thank you very much. That's how much we can go on this show. And that's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Benga Ashiru saying, do have a most pleasant weekend ahead.
And I'm Yolanda Roberts. Thanks for watching Daybreak. Have a fantastic day ahead. Goodbye.